Well, hello everyone on this Wednesday, updating you on this storm system headed our way, which is going to be fairly impressive for many of us. Precip starting by 3, 4, 5 a.m. Some drizzle out there now, and tomorrow morning it'll start maybe as light rain because of the mild temperatures, and then transition to some snow, maybe up to an inch or two for some spots, but more snow comes back in tomorrow night, and we'll show you why this is kind of coming into two waves. And then we're going to see quite a bit of wind. So not blizzard conditions here, but definitely some high winds across the state, and especially in the western part of the state. So big plume of moisture here off to the west, and you can see that upper level low. This is looking kind of at the middle of the atmosphere. You got a big spin kind of descending out of the northwest, and then that will tap into some moisture here with all the makings of a pretty efficient snow producer. These kind of storms do dump quite a bit of snow for us. Now there are some differences in how much moisture is available, but this is the upper level flow. And what I want you to look at here, notice how this thing kind of back tilts on itself. And we call this a negative tilt, meaning it's moving backwards. And these can be efficient snow producers for us because they kind of give us a wave of moisture and then fling snow back at us and keep kind of pointing it at us for a while. And you can kind of see that here right into even Saturday. We're going to have at least some light snow, so a prolonged snowfall kind of coming in waves, but big differences in water. So this is the American model, gives us about a ½ inch of water, and this is going to be a pretty even 10-to-1 ratio with this storm. But then look at the North American model, the NAM, gives us over an inch of water. Now that would be a big snow. Some of this, again, is going to fall as liquid initially, but that's why there's some discrepancies in the amounts so far. But here's that moisture starting as some light rain, maybe a sloppy mix to start, and then it transitions to snow again by the middle part of the day. And then we'll get pretty much a break, very light snow. But again, like I was talking about, that snow kind of comes flying back at us. Watch this tomorrow night into Friday. We see that snow kind of point backwards at us from the northeast, and where that specific band sets up is where we're really going to see the snowfall add up. So that's why there's going to be some just big differences in snow. So again, because the NAM has more moisture, dumping a lot more snow, over 8 inches, everything in bright pink, which could be even up to the metro area. American, European models, though, a little more conservative, less moisture in those models, still giving us a good 5 inches of snow. Some places seen 6, 7 inches, especially to our south. And then we're going to see a kind of a secondary batch of snow thanks to Lake Superior to the northeast. I'll show you here in just a second. So here's my forecast for what I think will happen. Again, pretty wide range on total still until we can kind of hone in on that moisture, but looks like 3 to 7 for the metro. I do think probably right around 5, maybe 6 for us is going to be a good bet. And then a bullseye to the south, kind of a secondary bullseye that could set up across north central Minnesota. And I sort of put a star over Duluth because it's kind of a separate snowfall forecast in itself because of Lake Superior. We could have enhanced bands of snow, and that's why the heavy snow kind of lines up with Lake Superior's shorelines, actually. So Duluth kind of will have its own separate thing, its own additional moisture source because of course, the big lake. As I mentioned, the winds are going to really be picking up through the day. Tomorrow morning, not so bad, but you'll notice the gusts picking up, and these are some impressive wind gusts. Everything in yellow and orange, over 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Now, western Minnesota won't see as much snow. The heavier snowfall is going to be further east, and then those winds will kind of wrap in from the northeast late tomorrow night into Friday. So a couple of days of some wind. We haven't had a lot of that. The one good thing going for us, temperatures. Notice this, staying near freezing or into the 30s. So this is going to be a wet snow, and it also means that salt will work. So unlike that pre-Christmas storm where we got all that compacted ice because temperatures plummeted and stayed cold for a while, not with this storm. So at least in the metro, well-traveled roads, freeways that have treatment on them, mostly wet and slushy as the snow falls rather than so much icy. In fact, we're in the 30s through Friday, and then we start to see finally some cooler temperatures. We're not talking crazy cold just yet, but by next week, maybe around 20. And if you've been following me for the last couple weeks, some hints that maybe we get some real cold finally by the end of the month. But for now, we're tracking snow.